Hi guys! Over the past year or so, my videos have gotten more and more book-centric. Like, 75% of them are book reviews just because that's an easy format to get done in an hour or so. But despite my wishes, reading for fun is not my day job. My job is a grad student in linguistics. As part of that job, I teach undergraduate students. Now, I've taught more outside the linguistics department than in it, but that's because linguistics is a field that has implications for lots of different areas, both in the university and in real life. And that's part of why I'm studying it. And I want to try to share some of my knowledge with people outside the university. So I'm going to try an experiment. One video a month talking about a question or an interesting linguistics fact. So if you have any questions about what I do or something to do with language, let me know and I'll do my best to answer. But what is linguistics? Why is it interesting? There are many different approaches to this study of language, and lots of historical disciplines converged and diverged to form the field as it stands today. You can approach linguistics as a historian, looking to understand texts in languages that nobody has thought about for hundreds of years. Think of how the Rosetta Stone helped break the code of Egyptian hieroglyphics. Or we can approach language as a biologist, looking at our anatomy and trying to figure out exactly what's happening when we produce an L versus an R. We can look at language through the lens of psychology and neuroscience. Where is language dealt with in the brain? How do we string words together? How does somebody else understand what we've said? We can try to understand the bits of language more formally, looking at the nuts and bolts of things. Why do we put adjectives before the nouns in English, but after the nouns in Spanish? Why do we pronounce the plural suffix in cat as cats, but the plural suffix in dog as dogs? What can these things teach us about the brain? About how to teach language, about how we should program computers so that they can decode and produce language. What really makes linguistics interesting and important to me is that it's such a basic part of our daily lives, but we don't ever really notice that anything's even happening until we have a problem. We can't understand the person on the tech support line. We can't remember a word. A kid says something ungrammatical and funny. Language is such an innate part of being a human, but even trying to understand something as basic as word order leads to all sorts of complexities and puzzles to solve. Some things are logical on the surface, but other things take looking deeper into anatomy or anthropology or mathematics or history. Pretty much any field you can imagine has something to contribute to the study of language. People talk about telepathy as this magical thing that lets you read the thoughts in somebody else's mind. Well, language already lets us do that. I'm doing it now. A few sound vibrations and I put a thought in your head. That can't be real, but it is. And studying how that happens gives us insight into how humans are built. The complex communication of language is one of the things that separates us from other organisms. We can and do communicate with animals, and animals do communicate with each other, but the depth and breadth of human communication is unparalleled. Babies learn language without being taught. People make up words and new modes of communication like hashtags all the time. Language lets us build relationships and civilizations. If you want to figure out humans, studying language is a good place to start.